Welcome to East by West Farms. Here we grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Today I was planning to work on the chicken coop, but we got quite some rain last week and there were water accumulation under the chicken coop, so I will not be able to work on it. On the other hand, this gave me a good opportunity to survey the land and to see where the water are accumulating, so that we can plan to build a swale or pond in the future. Here at Texas, we got quite a lot of rain. Our annual rainfall is not that bad at all. It's just that it's not evenly spaced out through the year. We have a rainy season, which is around this time now, that we could get 20 inches of water within one day. And then during the summertime, when we need the water for the vegetable, we may not get any rain for 3 or 4 months. So it's very important that we build some swale and pond that we can store the water that we got during the rainy season and use the water for the garden during the dry season. So I'm going to walk around the farm and see where we should build these swales or ponds. So follow me along. This is an area that is very green and in around this time. So, and then it's kind of sloped a little bit. So I think the water comes from the other side and flow down here. And there's a small area that down there is very low, so probably has water accumulation. I don't see that over there, but maybe it's under the hay. But all this area is very green around this time with the blue bonnet wildflowers. Blue bonnet is the state flower of Texas, and this area is famous for the spring blue bonnet. There's a city or town right about 30 minutes from us called Annis, and they usually in late March, early April, they will have the Blue Bonnet Festival. People can drive through the countryside and see Blue Bonnet, see farms full of Blue Bonnet blooming. Over here, we have a pot of water accumulating by the driveway. I notice this spot every time I drive by. Clearly, the water is come from the other side that flow down this way. Because of the driveway, it get stopped. The water flow gets stopped and accumulate over here. So we definitely need to build a pond done that way to prevent the water from accumulating on the driveway. Here is a small pond Chris built during the summer when the clay was hard like concrete, so that was a lot of work. It actually is quite deep. It has about 3 or 4 feet deep, and the idea is to collect the water from the roof of the barn, so that I can use this water to water the garden.
it has not been full for a while until recently it started to get pretty full, and now it's actually almost full to the rim. So that's a nice thing to have. There's quite a lot of water that we collected can be used later for gardening. Here is a pond that Chris was working on before he left. So it's not very deep. It's probably 1 or 2 feet deep the most. And it's connected to that small pond by the barn that I showed you before. This is an area that Chris marked out for the extension to expand the pond. He looked around here and saw the vegetation and think that water will accumulate over here. I don't see much accumulation over here, but over there seems to be quite moist. So probably he was right that this will be is a low area where the water comes. So he's going to come back to work on this so that we essentially connect all the water features. These are the neighbors' cows. Look like one of them got a small calf as well. They're just out enjoying the weather. I'm looking at the neighbor's property, and you can see that there's look like a big pond over here. This pond was not here last week. Just this week seems they got quite a lot of water over there. I'm at the pond to check to see if the pond is filled up. Wait, what is all this noise? That look like some birds. That's a lot of birds. My goodness, this is they're putting up quite a nice show over here. That must be hundreds of birds. And they're making quite a lot of noise. I've never seen this before. Look like it's right behind our property. Must be behind the creek that we have. Well, it's good to know that maybe they are using that area is completely untouched. So maybe that's become a habitat for the birds. I need to go there to see if I can find some bird eggs. This is pretty cool. Wow, that's unexpected. Never seen this before. Must be the spring. Well, that's a falcon. I'm not sure it's trying to catch the birds or not, but for sure it's enjoying surfing the wind.
Well, the neighbor's dogs are here. I guess they were trying to chase the bird. Hey, dogs, you're not supposed to be in our property.
Look like the pond is filled up very nicely. I checked it last week, and it didn't look like the water increased much compared to the water level was not much higher than the summer, and I was concerned that if it doesn't get enough water during the rainy season, then the pond might dry up in summer. And just in 1 week, look like we got quite a lot of rain and filled it up almost to the rim. So the water level increased by at least 3 or 4 feet. I don't see any fish here, but look like that look like a fish. Yeah, that's a small fish. Just to show you how high the water has get to, over here is I mowed this area 2 weeks ago, and you can see the mowing track, and so I was able to get all the way down here and turn around. So now it's actually, you can see that the water come up 4 or 5 feet into the mowing track. So that's how much water we got just this week. It's absolutely amazing. Here is the outlet of the pond. You can see that the water did get into the outlet, but does not look like it overflown a lot. So that's a good thing, because I don't want the fish to escape from here. When it's dried up somewhat, we will need to put a mesh over here so that the water can flow out, but we'll keep the fish in there. Here are some blue bonnet plants that are completely underwater now. It's good to get some of organic material in the water so that it will feed the microorganism that will feed the fish. So I guess that's how Mother Nature works, that with this flooding, it basically gets the organic material into the water and starting the cycle of the food chain. These bushes, they were growing completely exposed, and now they are almost submerged in the water with just the tip coming out. This area is quite green over here, indicate that it had a lot of water. It makes sense because behind me is the creek that flowing that way, and the water in front of me, where the house and the barns are at higher ground. This maybe is this area where the slope has slowed down or tapered down. That's the key point. The water rush down the slope and then slow down here and get accumulated over here. These are all blue bonnet. So I see some wild flowers over here and over here as well. And these are the blue bonnet, of course. So I guess spring is almost here. I'm in this area that by the creek, and you can see that the scenery looks very different from the other area. It almost looks like a forest with much more trees than the other area. And also you can see the ground is pretty green. It covers with weeds, I guess, or wild plants. So this might be a good area to try out the food forest concept, because they probably have more moist because it's by the water, and with the established trees it's more sheltered as well. So I will definitely try some sweet potato and this kind of thing that to make this food forest area. Here is the creek, and it's seasonal, so it's been dry. Some sections still doesn't look like have a lot of water yet. Actually, I just saw a snake at the bottom of the creek. So in this section, the creek is much deeper and seems collected quite some water already. And that, of course, goes to the neighbors, toward the neighbors. There are some that look like a cornflower or tobacco plants. I'm not sure, but there's quite a few of them. Probably they like the moist. And a big patch over there. And over here look like some wild chives, maybe. Yeah, actually this look like chives. It smells like chives too, so probably that's the wild chives. And also look some wild carrots also. I let it grow a little bit, and maybe come with a trowel and dig it up and to see if it's wild carrots. Of course, I will not eat it because it could be poisonous. I will check in summer, but for sure in winter seems to be this will be a good gardening area. That's the tour of the farm. We probably covered about a quarter of the farm. This will be our main cultivated area. On this side, there's another probably 5 acres or so of land. We will probably not work on it and just leave it as a wildflower area. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumb up button. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey with the East by West Farms.